Hi, my name is Vida Patil and this is my new channel where I talk about current topics and express my opinion. This is a place where you'll find usual news with unusual insights. So let's get started with today's hot topic on which country is going to create the most powerful currency in the world in the coming years after the United States dollar. If you look at all the countries who became powerful in their currency, there is one common thing about them, and that is they were used to trade oil. If you look at the most powerful currency in the past 100 years, it is definitely the United States dollar. The United States dollar was used as a currency to trade oil not only by United States but by many other countries. In fact, it became a de facto standard for gauging the power of any currency in the world. If let's say your currency is rupee, it costs 70 rupees, and let's say this is for India. Let's say you're looking at Pakistan, and Pakistan's currency costs 200 plus rupees to buy a United States dollar. That means the Pakistan's currency is very weak compared to the Indian currency. So now United States dollar has become a de facto standard, just like gold used to be a standard. Now a lot of people who are using cryptocurrency, decentralized networks, decentralized currencies, these people say they don't want to fall into this trap, but still cryptocurrency is a long way before it comes into full circulation. Until then, we have to live with the currencies we have with us. So for me here in United States, in Silicon Valley, we use dollar. And whoever is listening, wherever you are, you have your local currency. If you're in India, your currency is the Indian rupee. If you're elsewhere, the currency is different. Now let's talk about which country is trying to become like United States. If you look at the countries which sell oil, which have the power to influence the power of a currency, just like United States dollar, it is the oil countries and the Middle Eastern countries. One of the most powerful oil exporters from the Middle East is Saudi Arabia, and your relationship as a country with Saudi Arabia will be a deciding factor on whether or not your currency is powerful enough to be traded in exchange for the oil from the Middle East. Now, if you look at Saudi Arabia's connections with the United States in the past 50 years, Saudi has depended on the United States for military weapons, and in exchange, Saudi was also in a kind of an agreement with United States to allow exchange of oil in dollars. Saudi is doing the same thing with another country now, and that is China. Over the past 10 to 20 years, China has imported a lot of oil, significant amount of oil. Or let me put it that way, a significant amount of exports from Saudi Arabia have been going to China. This is the number one thing. The second thing, China is catching up with United States in creating one of the most powerful weapon force, military force in the world. So now, if Saudi Arabia is depending on China for military weapons, for military aid, that is becoming very close to China acting as a substitute for United States. Now let's see if China has signed a pact with Saudi Arabia that oil can be traded with the Chinese yuan. Yes, they have. In fact, they are in talks and it is materializing. So if China goes on to replace the military aid with Saudi Arabia, if they replace United States, then the Chinese yuan will become the most powerful currency in the world. In fact, all countries, whether it's United States or India or Southeast Asian countries or the European countries, they will also be forced to weigh the power of their currency against the Chinese yuan. So this is happening because United States has underestimated the superpowers who are emerging. They underestimated Russia, Ukraine, the ability of Russia to trigger the Third World War, to trigger a global impact. They underestimated the Taliban, and now they're underestimating Chinese power to become one of the most powerful currencies in the world. So guys, this is a very important lesson for us to lean towards decentralized currencies, because if the global superpowers are using aids like oil and military weapons to play with the power of your country's currency, that is something which is not boding good for anybody. If a country wants to stay powerful, they have to be the most powerful military in the world. That means they have to be ready for war. This is a mindset of creating war. So let's say no to this kind of mindset. Let's lean towards decentralized currency. Let's make it a fair and free world. With that, I'd like to sign off. This is Vida Patil, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.